I know that most moms that I talk to struggle with having to share their opinion or their concern without their daughters feeling judged or threatened by it. We've all been there, right? You say one thing and suddenly it's like you've set off a landmine or something. But today, you know what? We're going to talk about 5 practical tips to help you navigate these conversations smoothly so she won't feel judged and you won't have to walk on eggshells. Let's jump right in. Hey mama, welcome to Raising Her Confidently. Do you want to have open communication with your teen daughter? Do you find yourself constantly thinking about how to talk to your teen or why your girl is not opening up to you? Do you wake up with confident intentions only to feel confused and frustrated when all you get are one-word answers from your daughter again? Hey, I'm Jeannie. I too was a mom raising young teens. I too felt grieved by the loss of my sweet, talkative little girl. I wanted her to come to me about anything, even if she was scared, and listen to my advice. But I kept thinking, she won't listen to me, and I don't know how to approach her until I found tools to create open communication. In this podcast, you will find how to connect and talk to your teen and create a safe space for her to go to so that you will have that close relationship you dreamed of. Go grab your glass of Merlot and throw off those fuzzy slippers and let's dig in together. One thing I love to do on top of doing this podcast and serving you mamas is also helping moms one-on-one in the weeds, raising their tween or teen girl. Mamas who feel all of a sudden disconnected with their once young, cuddly girl and now entering the tween stage and have no clue what to do with her. So I got a chance to talk to one of my moms, and this is what she said. I was in a bad place with my 14-year-old daughter this summer when I decided to take the bold move to enroll onto the Talk to Your Teen Girl framework. After as little as 2 weeks into the course, I learned how to communicate more effectively with my 14-year-old daughter. I feel now I have the tools to handle conversations better and approach my daughter with love, empathy, and without judgment, something I honestly struggled with before. The result, my daughter recently told me I am her safe person. Wow, we are enjoying a closeness now that I would only have dreamt of before. It's a work in progress, but I have the tools now. Thanks to Jeannie, I am beyond grateful for this. Absolutely amazing to see how quick my friend Carly got her results in as little as 2 weeks and started to see the changes in her daughter and the way she interacted with her daughter simply by shifting the way she needed to interact with her girl. This level of connection bridged in just a few short weeks of Talk to Your Teen Girl framework. You're probably wondering what exactly is in the Talk to Your Teen Girl framework. I'm a visual person, so I get you. I like to be able to visualize exactly what I'm getting into, and I like seeing the steps to fully grasp what I would be learning. So I totally get it. So here it is. In this course, you get access to 5 modules, which you can complete at your own pace. Typically, they are about 1 week each. You have access to a private Facebook Mom Tribe community. You get a workbook containing your communication action plan and notes from the modules. Plus, I'm not done, 2 bonuses. Not 1, but 2, 52 dates, ideas with your daughter, 11-page resource guide, and never run out of things to talk about with your daughter. Endless questions in various topics you can ask your girl. I believe in equipping moms with resources and tools ready at hand's length to use and utilize at any given time. So if you are still trying to grasp what this all looks like, I get you. Come and visit talktoyourteengirl.com where I lay it out all for you. I'll see you there. I'm going to give you 5 tips. Our first tip is start with empathy. When you approach a conversation with your teen, start by putting yourself in her shoes. Remember, we need to shift perspective in order to be able to reach our daughters, right? They're not sitting in our shoes quite yet because they haven't experienced what we were able to experience. So we come with wisdom, but yet we have to come from a place where we understand their perspective. And we've been there, mama. So you're the perfect person to do that. So start with empathy. Remember what it was like to be her age instead of jumping straight into the advice or even criticism, and acknowledge her first her feelings first. Understand, I know where you're coming from. Or simply say, I can see this is really important to you. Can go a long way. When you start like that, it can go a long way, acknowledging them first. It shows that you're trying to understand her perspective before offering your own. Tip number 2, ask open-ended questions. I talk about this all the time. Ask open-ended questions. It's so easy for your daughter to just say yes or no, but you really want to be able to dig into something deeper. So instead of questions that can be answered with the simple yes or no, try asking questions that encourage her to open up. For example, how did that make you feel? Or what do you think about that? Or can you tell me more? I'm curious about what you said here. These types of questions show that you're genuinely interested in her thoughts and feelings, not just looking for a way to jump in with your own opinions. Now, granted, your daughter can sniff it out when you're trying to lead the conversations with the types of questions you're asking. So be careful with the types of questions you're asking, because your daughter will jump into conclusions and say, you're trying to lead me somewhere, and they will shut down. So open-ended questions are a great way to get curious about what your daughter thinks and even get or feel and get her perspective on that. Tip number 3, validate her experiences. We know our own experiences and we know we come with a lot of wisdom, but she comes with her own set of unique experiences as well. She's an individual that gets to experience things through her own vision, through her own perspective. So validate her experiences, even if you don't agree with her perspective. Mama, even if you don't agree with her perspective, it's important to validate her feelings. Saying something like, I can understand why you would feel that way, or that sounds really tough, can help her feel that you hear her and that you respect her perspective. Validation doesn't mean you agree with everything. I want you to hear that again, Mama. Validation doesn't mean that you agree with everything, but it does show that you respect her feelings and her experiences. Tip number 4, share, don't lecture. Don't lecture. Teens can be super sensitive, and I've said this before, to any hint of a lecture that comes out of mom or even dad. So instead of saying, you should do this, try sharing your own experiences and what you learned from them. For example, when I was your age, or I remember a time when I went through something similar, and this is what helped me. This approach feels less like you're dictating what she should do and more like offering her options based on your life story and what you've experienced. Allow her to form her own opinion and decisions based on the stories that you share that is very similar. Avoid lecturing her. So tip number 5, give her space. I talk about this all the time in Talk to Your Teen Girl framework. It's actually, I believe, one of the steps, the first step in creating open communication with your teen daughter is being able to create that space. You may ask how that could be. Well, I give you a step-by-step process of how you can create space for your daughter so she feels safe to state her opinion and her own experiences. Sometimes the best way to support your teen is to give her a little room to breathe. After you've had a conversation, let her process it in her own time. People process things differently. I know I'm a processor, and it takes me a while to process what somebody else says, let alone what I need to say back, while others have a shorter process time. So we need to be patient and give her space in order to process your conversation. You can say, I'm here if you want to talk more about this later, which lets her know that you're leaving the door open to further conversations, that you're available without being overbearing. It shows respect for her autonomy and gives her the opportunity to come to you when she's ready. Isn't that what we want, Mama? So there you go. 5 tips on how to talk to your teen without her feeling judged or threatened. What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to receive what you're saying in a safe and open way? So there you have it, Mama. 5 ways to talk to your teen girl without her feeling judged or threatened. Remember, it's all about empathy, open-ended questions, validation, sharing experiences, and giving her space. These tips and approaches can help build a stronger and more open relationship with your daughter. Now, if you found this episode helpful, go ahead and share it with another mom who might need a little extra support. I have the Talk to Your Teen Girl framework that is soon closing its current prices, and they will go up September 1st. If you need tactical steps to create open communication with your daughter so that she can come to you and not receive what you have to offer and say to her as judgment or being threatened, I invite you to come join and check out this course so you can create open communication so she can come to you even if she's scared. That's talktoyourteengirl.com. Head on over there and I'll see you there. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you or encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd love for you to share it. You can screenshot this episode and share it in your stories on social media or text it to a friend who can use the support. It's the best way you can thank me. I want to let other mamas know they are not alone. I'd love to stay connected with you. You can find me at raisingherconfidently.com. Until next time, live full of grace, Jeannie.